welcome back to Shaving Fuzzy. I'm Fuzzy. Hi, y'all. On a Tuesday morning. All right, so Tuesday morning. And the state finally got off their tail and got my license straightened out. Something should have taken them a couple of days. Took them a good bit longer than that. So there's the first day at the new job. But anyway, we're back doing something I used to do, but I hadn't done in a while, so it's going to be fun. So I got an email yesterday. That's the growth we're going to work on. A couple of days, nothing spectacular. We're going to use vintage Colgate. Somebody had mentioned they had a vintage Colgate shave stick. I do too somewhere, but today's just going to be the vintage. This is the barber shop. They had barber shop to start with. They started that in about 1917, I understand. Then they had cup soap, then they had mug soap that they ended up with. So anyway, this is the barber shop. I've got several of these left. And then I've got several of the cup and several of the mug. Well, several of the mug. I don't have very many of the cup, I don't think. That one I didn't get very many of. But anyway, it's a vintage soap, and it does a really good job, just like vintage Williams. Would I rate the vintage Colgate as good as the vintage Williams? Probably so, if I was honest about it, but I don't rate anything over vintage Williams. Sorry. But if I was being honest about it, you could probably say that the vintage Colgate is as good as the vintage Williams, and a roll right along. So anyway, back to my story. I got an email, let me know, where to go. There's a lot of gates at this particular plant. It's a big plant. It's a bigger plant than the other two I've worked at combined. And so it's got several gates, and they sent me an email which gate to go in, and be sure to wear black pants and a black shirt. They'll have they should have the uniform shirts there and that kind of stuff. But anyway, so in this email it says I'll report to the supervisor on duty. Happens to be somebody I know, and that I've worked at another place and enjoyed working at. I think we got along okay. I thought we did, but I found over the years that sometimes when you think you're getting along with somebody, you find out later that they were just kind of tolerating you and they didn't think the same way. I don't know. It happens. I think we got along good. And at the time, I was a supervisor, and she wasn't directly under me or anything, but I was a supervisor, and now she's going to be the supervisor. And the inevitable question comes up with, well, as a supervisor, how hard is it to go back being a non-supervisor? And for me, not going to be that big a deal. It's less to do. Now, I like being a supervisor, and one of these days I'll work back into a supervision spot. I'm sure I usually do at some point, but until then, I'll be a worker bee. No problem. All right, so we're loading up the Colgate in the old Victorian scuttle, I've heard them called. Now, these scuttles are not like, they're not the ones to keep the soap warm, because there's no way you're going to keep a whole cake of soap warm. They were made so you had the hot water in the bottom, you soak your brush, and it was for like when there wasn't running water. Remember one time that we didn't have the wonderful indoor plumbing and running water in the houses like we do now here. Believe it or not, some places in the world they still don't. Think about that for just a second. Hard to believe in this world, with all the advancements, that there's still places in the world where they don't have running water. But anyway, we do here. As you see, the Colgate ladders up really well, really easy, nothing to it. These are some older cakes, and it's like, oh, they're going to go rancid. They're tallow. They'll go rancid, and they're not going to be any good, and you better smell them, and you better do this, and you better do that. And I don't know. Never found one that was bad. They'll get all dried out and cracked looking and everything, and you drop them in, and you work the lather up on them, and they're just fine to go. Don't need to bloom them. You go to bloom something, plant some flowers. Someone was talking about the rules of fuzzy shaving the other day. They were talking about, don't use soup bowls, And if you're going to bloom something, go bloom flowers. Blade's a blade, a razor's a razor is another good one. And this is an M, a Schick M. And I've got it turned all the way up where it should be. Only good setting is all the way open on an adjustable. Sorry. Way I am about it. Now, if you want something that's not quite an aggressive feeling, turn it down. However, jumping up and down and twisting that knob all around there to shave, there's absolutely no sense in that. Now, I realize, as I'm saying that on a lot of the adjustable razors, maybe all the adjustable razors, I don't know, the actual instructions told you to start with it on a higher number, then cut it back. Horse feathers. Ridiculous. Don't go twisting on the knobs. Set it. Forget about it. Thank you, Ron. There's nothing hard about it. Now, I did a video the other day on angles, and it's different because on the single edge, the cap is generally your angle. You don't have that on these, so you have to just learn to hold the right angle. It's not hard to find the angle. You simply rock the head backward and forwards till it's cutting right. And you remember that angle. Muscle memory takes over. But when your technique gets better, you don't even think about it. You're going to find the best cutting angle for the blade just naturally. It's just going to be there. Yeah, but that's also a really good thing, knowing I'm going to be working with someone I know, and I know her style, and her style and my style are really close together. I like having a book. This is how we do it, and you follow the book. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to make adjustments every once in a while. I'm not one of those, but I think if there's a procedure in a manual, you follow the procedure, right? Simple. That's what it's there for. Everybody does the same thing the same way every time for the most part, and that cuts down on a lot of confusion. But anyway, there we go. Do I feel bad about quitting the supervisor job at the other company? No, I don't. No, I don't. All right, there's just nothing hard about a Schick shave. I found I've still got a couple of magazines of the blades I got. They were branded for the long department store and drugstore. They were gifted to me by a shave buddy of mine in Arizona 10 years, 12 years ago, at least 10 years ago. And I still had some of them. But I've given away some over the years and this, that, and the other. These blades last a long time. I think the injector blades last longer than the single edge blades, whether it be stainless steel or carbon steel, either one. I think they last longer. And so yeah, still got a few of those. They're just regular old Persona blades. There was nothing fancy about them. Last time I went to Lafayette, which is just up the road here from Baton Rouge, it's less than an hour's drive. I could still get the Schicks, they call them, the Chinese-made Schick blades, which are really nice. They're a little more expensive, but I could still get those local. I could go buy them off the shelf, so that was a good thing. And I checked yesterday. I'm gonna make a post over at Toast about it. I meant to do it last night, and I got busy and didn't get it done. But I went by CVS, and they're still selling the single edge razor blades there. They're like $5.50. Well, one of the it's a vault, but it's a clear vault instead of the old gray vault there. 10 blades. I'm sure they're stainless steel, and it doesn't say on them where they're made, but I'm pretty sure. You know, most of that stuff's being made in China these days, but I'm pretty sure these blades aren't made in China. Now, again, I could very well be wrong about that. I have nothing to back that up because it didn't say on the box. But anyway, they were still selling them at CVS. I haven't checked Walgreens lately to see if they're selling them. So if you need blades, CVS may be the way to go for you. If you want to buy some local and you don't have I've got a local grocery store that I can buy the treats at. I mentioned this the other day, and going back out for work in the plants, I'll be back around where I used to have go by the convenience store out there, C-store, the Marathon by brand name, and they sold the 5-packs of treats. So I may get to stop by there sometime soon and see if they're still selling those. Well, awesome. All right, well, that's the shave for this morning. Finished Colgate. Look at there how I cleaned everything up. We knew it would. With a Schick M. Now, I'm a big fan of the earlier model Schicks. And I am a really big fan of the E's and G's. E2, I have an E2 that's one of my favorite razors of all time. It's one of the early models that it actually opens, and it's a very aggressive filling razor. I have a G8 that's very aggressive filling. So sometimes within a brand and within a model, you'll get some that feel different from the others. And these two are really aggressive filling. So those are usually my favorite. But this M rates high up on that list also. Crank it up to 7 or 8 or whatever it is. It says 7 is the highest number, but it goes past 7. Crank it up and away you go. We're going to use a little, smells kind of like Old Spice. Today, I had mentioned the other day that when you're going to be working in a closed room, you don't want something that's real heavy. I haven't seen the surveillance room, which is where I'm going to be working. I haven't seen that. They call it the sock there also, which is what we call it over at Blue Cross when I worked the security over there, the Security Operations Center. So we're going to be working in the sock. So I haven't seen how big it is. They're usually not very big. And you don't want aftershave is going to knock everybody down. This one starts out fairly light anyway, and then it'll dry down and, Old Spice. So that's today. Started out with some perked Cafe Bustelo. I got my thermos ready to go because I don't know what the coffee situation is there yet. But we're going to take a thermos with some coffee, which won't last the full 10-hour day, but it'll give me something. So there we go. That's me. There was no need for blooming. There was no need to shim the razor. None of that. It's a great shave, boys and girls. All right, well, y'all have a good day. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I got to jump out of here and keep getting ready for work. Got to get back on this early schedule. I'm getting up when I normally get to bed, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with that in the world. All right, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, happy shades to you.